These are the four Mosin 9130s that I got in from Classic Firearms in North Carolina. I ordered them on two separate occasions, and I'm pretty happy with what I got. I think it was a pretty well described item. They mentioned they were B stock, and the stocks are not as good as some of the ones that I've taken out of a crate before, but I think I'm still pretty happy with them. In terms of shootable Mosins, they all are all pretty good. And since I got four, I actually got a pretty decent variety of possibilities here. First one here, and it may be hard to see on the video camera because it's very faint, is a 1940 Isavik, and I didn't see anything special in the markings on this. The stock is, it's a typical refurb. It's been re-blued at some point, and some, Tula and some Isavik parts are on the bolt and so forth. See the typical refurb mark here, and a post-war stock. There's the Triangle 1 that's touted to be a DDR East German mark. That's on the stock on this, but I did not see anything on the barrel. Everything on this particular one matches. It's, you're going to see a matching or a force match where they've crossed out numbers. Here's an example on this one of a force match where they basically took one number on the butt plate and crossed it out and then matched it to the rest of the rifle. But pretty much all the bolts have been scrubbed and then a new serial number put onto the bolt. The nice thing about the refurb process is that you have a very little doubt in your mind that they've made these things shootable. I have Oki headspace gauges, and I check all of my Mosins, and I've yet to date found a refurbed Mosin that didn't have a good headspace. Every one of them have passed the go and no-go gauges. I've checked like 20 coming out of a crate one time. They were all good. All four of these are good, and my other ones that I have, they're all good as well. Going next, I have a let's see if I can actually read it. This is a 43 Isavik, and this particular one, it's all matching. The buttstock, floor plate, bolt, barrel, it's all matching. And what I found about this one seems to be the best shooter. The bore is very clean. The muzzle is in good shape. You stick a bullet. If you stick a bullet in the muzzle in there, you can kind of tell the muzzle wear. There's other places that describe that, and that one was the best of the bunch. It actually is as good, if not even slightly better, than the barrel and muzzle from my sniper that I paid a lot more money for. The next one is, this one has a wartime stock. You can see the post-war and the wartime stock, and this stock is a little bit more beat up, but that's got more character in it. It's got, it's more like what would have been held during battle in World War II without being really reworked. And this one is a 43 Isavik, and this one has the Triangle 1 DDR East German mark on it, as so said. This has the plain unblued handguard metal on it. That really adds some character to it. I like this one pretty much because it looks and feels like it hasn't really been touched as much as the other ones. It's got a decent barrel and muzzle on it, muzzle wear. Everything is matching, and it's a little unique to it. Next one going down the line here, this has got a pre-war stock on it with the screws. It has been refurbished with the box with the line through it. It's been refurbished at one point, but this one, like the other one, it's got some character in it. It's got some dents and dings and scratches, and it's seen some activity. And this has got a brass metal on the handguards. It might be hard to see in the light that I have here, but that's brass that's on there. And this is a 5-line Tula. If I can get some focus in here. I don't know if I can get this focused or not here. But this is definitely one of my favorites out of the bunch. And the bluing, it isn't quite totally reblued, so it's got more of a aged patina on it. And you can see the Tula hammer. I did pull this all apart, and the receiver is also dated the same year as the barrel, 1926. So I believe this all stayed together. If it was made in 26, then this would not have been the original sight. It would have been reworked at some point to bring it to what they considered up to date. But this is definitely unique. It shoots okay. It doesn't shoot as good as this other one. But it's pretty darn close. It's really hard to tell the difference. If you were shooting off the bench at 100 yards from a bench rest, you can tell the difference. But if you're in the backyard shooting across to a hill at a bunch of bottles and stuff like that, you're not going to really notice the difference. But in terms of, I think, collectability, I think this one definitely is the best of the bunch. If you were to order 4 at a time like I did, you might get them all, like this one, and that doesn't mean that you didn't get what you paid for. I mean, I paid $99 for 2 of them and $89 for 2 of the other ones, and I'm still happy with what I got. It also came with bayonet. The bayonets, none of them match any of the rifles, and from what I've gathered from other people, that's pretty typical for something, unless you're pulling it out of the crate and trying to match them up yourself. I could get these bayonets to barely fit on them, and I couldn't really get them to turn. From what I've heard from other people, if you really wanted to get these bayonets to fit, you're going to have to be taking a Dremel tool or something like that. But to get advice from some other people online, if you really care to be getting the bayonets to fit. Also came with the this oil can packed heavily in Cosmoline. And the tool kit, and the only real thing that you're going to need out of that is this, in order to double check the fire pin protrusion. I checked all of these after I cleaned them up, and they were all fine in terms of, like I said, the headspace. And the firing pins were all good. Like any of the other Mosins, I totally disassemble the bolts, and I take the barrel and all that off, and I clean it with mineral spirits. For the stock, these were actually almost as if somebody overseas, before they sent them, took off most of the Cosmoline, because until you got into digging into where the slings goes into these slots, I didn't find a lot of Cosmoline in these. It was basically almost like it was decosmoed at some point somewhere else. But there was some in there. You take the metal off the receiver and the barrel off the stock, and I found some in there, and most of them. So I did decosmo them. I've got a PVC pipe that I dunk the barrel assembly and receiver in, and I let that soak, and then I brush that out. I take a brush and a rod, and then I stroke the inside of that in order to get that cleaned out, and then take some patches and patches and patches, and the barrels that have the roughness to the inside, the pitting and so forth, that's going to basically take a little more time. This one right here, it cleaned up really quick. That's how I really had a good idea that the barrel was in good shape. Like I said, I'm very happy with what I got. I think the advertising of what it was very truthful. And as Forrest Gump said, it's like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get. You know, you could order 8. They could all be the same. They could all be different. I would say the one thing that you should be getting is you should be getting something that you can shoot. If you got something that is not shootable, then there's something wrong. Or if you got something that was cracked, then there's something wrong. But everything I got here met or exceeded my expectations. Thank you for watching.